Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be going through very briefly kind of some upcoming products that are going to be coming out this summer and later on this year for Benchmade and Microtech. If you're like me, you like to know kind of what's coming up in the knife world, and hopefully this will be a good way to provide some news and updates that I have found as I do my research and kind of stay on top of what's going on and what's coming soon. So to start out, we have Benchmade releasing some new products in August, September, and October. So those are the upcoming months that they've released their part 2 to the catalog this year. They've already released a bunch of stuff. The water line towards the beginning of the year, the drop point shootouts come to mind. They just released the new 940 in MagnaCut, and that I think they call it like burnt copper. It's a brownish theme with the coated blade, and it looks really nice, but it's, as a lot of Benchmades are, very, very expensive. But there's a lot of stuff that's coming out later this year as well, so hopefully we can have some other good stuff that comes as well. First off, we have a Redoubt in a Tanto blade, however you say it. And that's going to be a greenish color, I think like Ranger green. I'm not sure exactly what they're calling it, but a green color with a black blade. They just released, actually I think that was this year as well, the blacked out Redoubt. And I think it's been pretty popular. I've followed it a little bit, coming in stock in some local stores and whatnot. Not really my cup of tea, but it is a very popular model. It's a very, it's on the cheaper end of Benchmade's products still. I think it's like 180 MSRP, so probably in the same range as like a Bugout in retail. I don't know what exactly it retails for, but it's going to have D2 steel, CPM D2 steel, which I think is different from actual D2 steel. But you are, again, paying for the Benchmade name when it comes to especially a lot of their cheaper models that have the grivery or plastic handles. Now they do make aftermarket scales for the Redoubt. I know AWT, I'm a huge fan of their Spyderco Native 5 scales that I bought. So if that's your thing, you prefer to mod knives instead of just buy them straight from the factory, they have scales for the Redoubt there, and they're a great American-made company. Would recommend. But moving on from that, the other thing is going to be a smaller MagnaCut fixed blade called I'm not sure exactly how you say it, Dacian or Dacian or Dacian, something like that, which actually looks really cool. It's micarta handles, MagnaCut on the blade, and it looks smaller, kind of like maybe almost a pocket carry. I'll add pictures to all these here so you can see them, but it does look really nice. So I'm excited for that one, but I'm probably not going to get it because it's $300 something for a rather small fixed blade. So probably will pass on that one as well, but just something new that they're releasing. And I think that's a pretty cool idea, a smaller fixed blade. I'm a big fan of those. I have the SE Azula right here. Big fan of that. And the Zancudo is another one of my favorites that I find myself using quite frequently, actually. I think they're sometimes a lot easier to use than folding knives, especially if you have one laying around just at the house. In September, so both of those two, I'm sorry, I didn't mention that before. Those are both in August. So this month at some point, we'll be seeing those theoretically. September, or at least planned for September, there's going to be a new color wave of the aluminum Bugout. So right now it's just the silver aluminum. I think they have a red thumb stud on it, or maroon-ish thumb stud, and it's M390 steel, I believe. This one is also going to be M390 steel, and it's that brass-colored aluminum. So pretty cool. Probably, again, I'm going to keep repeating myself on all these, but probably will be very expensive, I'm sure, as Benchmades have been for the past couple months. But still very cool-looking colors, and it's the Bugout, super popular model, so that'll be cool to see. The other one being released in September is going to be the Mini Narrows. So the Narrows was a super controversial knife when it came out, very expensive. It was titanium handles, I believe, and M390 steel, but it is like one of the most thin knives I have ever handled. I got to hold one, and I think it was like Cabela's the other day. I was just in there talking to the guy, and I asked if I could see that. So honestly, it did not impress me. It's very thin. It felt, I don't know, maybe it's because that was a display model, but you could hear the grinding of the axis lock. So I was very off put by that. I'm sure they're, newer ones that are not the display model in a store that are nicer, but I don't know. It didn't really wow me for whatever, $540 or something. So they will have the standard silver and blue and blacked out Mini Narrows coming out. I I'm sure that will be popular because that'll probably be like, I think the Narrows is a little bit bigger than the Bugout, so the mini Narrows will probably be around Bugout size, maybe a little bit smaller than that. But we'll see if that one flops kind of like the Narrows did, or if it's a little bit more popular. I'm guessing a little bit more people will buy that. Just like we saw the release this past month, or maybe it was even this past week, of the mini tagged out. Those do not seem to be as popular as I had kind of expected that they were. I have a full-size tagged out, and I love it. I have the G10 one that's kind of like the mid-tier pricing, and I think it's great. But yeah, I thought the Bugout sized one of those, the mini tagged out, would have been a lot more popular. So who knows? I was wrong on that one. In October, they will be finishing out their year, or the seasons of the year, with a bunch of different Bugout color variants. There's some cool FDE coated blades, I think like orange and FDE blade, and then there was another one that was like the OD green type and FDE blade. So that one's actually pretty cool. If that one ever goes on sale, maybe I'll like try and sell this one and get that. I think that'd be pretty cool to have. I'm a big fan of the kind of Adamas style, or I don't know what people call it, the OD green and FDE. I think that's a cool style. I like that, especially being outdoors and whatnot. I think it's pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that one. There's also going to be a bright purple shootout. Not really my thing, but they make them, so I'm sure people will buy them. That's also going to be another color of the Bugout too. I forgot to mention that one. So they'll have purple Bugout. There's a few others that I'm forgetting with the Bugout, but you can already get those in pretty much whatever color you want. So some more Bugout stuff, as I'm sure it's been a very popular model for them. So people keep buying it, and that's what's selling. So looking forward to see what they come out with. Hopefully they'll put some more of the 710 style springs that just came out, the flat Omega springs, in their new products next year. A little disappointed that that's not coming out, but I hope that was a big hit and it's successful and not breaking constantly as you're using them. And we see those next year. Moving on to Microtech. There's a lot less definition and rigidity in their release schedule. It's kind of just word of mouth, and I'll share with you what I saw in some videos and what I've been reading online with some people commenting and such with their upcoming release. I know a lot of people are excited about some of the stuff that they have coming out, the Ultratech specifically, but we'll kind of get into that here. I remember I believe it was the SHOT Show video, either the SHOT Show video of this year or the Blade Show video of last year. I want to say it was like January, so it was SHOT Show this year. They said there will be a lot of stuff coming with the LOK system. So that will hopefully be announced soon this year. But as of now, they are releasing, coming soon, in the coming weeks and coming months, there will be, I believe, carbon fiber models of all of their, so there's the MSI, Stitch, and Amphibian right here. And I believe that there will be carbon fiber models in at least the MSI and Stitch, which I've seen on Blade HQ that are getting ready to release. So I'd imagine there'll probably be a Amphibian one as well. But that will be very cool. The MSI in carbon fiber and the Stitch in carbon fiber, they look gorgeous. I'll attach some pictures here as well so you can see those. But I think that'll be really cool. They're also going to have a couple different MSIs and Stitches with stonewash blades. So this is the apocalyptic blade finish. It's a very, very aggressive stonewash. You can kind of see. So they'll be a little less than that, but they look, I'll attach the pictures so you can see, and they look really, really nice. So looking forward to see what else comes out of Microtech with the LOK stuff this year. They also just are now getting to dealers the aluminum MSI. They did not previously have a fluted aluminum MSI, which I thought was a huge mistake. I mean, I love the MSI, but it didn't come in aluminum, so I have it in the plastic. But I would love one in aluminum. Probably some other stuff higher on the list than that now, but I think the aluminum will look awesome on that, and it'll be a huge upgrade, so you don't have to kind of get your aftermarket scales. You can just get a production aluminum MSI. Keep an eye out for those. I think those are the same range as the Amphibian, like in the 300-ish range. That's what a lot of their LOKs are. So, you can get an aluminum Bugout or a carbon fiber or aluminum LOK from Microtech. But continuing on here, there's also the Atreus, which is the new zero blade play from Microtech. It's their inaugural, or maybe it's not their inaugural. Kind of in a way it is. They had a model called the Luminary that was released in a collaboration with, I believe, Surefire. I could be completely messing that up, but I'm pretty sure it was Surefire, and it was a pretty cool looking blade, but it was like $1,000 or $2,000 for the light and Microtech combo, which is absurd. That's more of a collector's thing, not really a knife to use. I kind of didn't really even look at that, but still pretty cool. I think that was their first ever release of the zero blade play technology. But that was a collaboration. So the Atreus will be their actual first inaugural launch of the zero blade play, which is going to revolutionize the industry. Now, I'm sure that model will be really, really expensive, but they have said, again, in the Blade Show videos this year that came out and in SHOT Show videos in January, they said they're going to start integrating that into a lot of their different models that are coming out as well, and they're out the fronts, which is going to be, again, game-changing for the industry. They're not really jacking the prices up. I'll talk about that in a second, but it's going to be in all their models, and that's going to be huge. Right now, the cheapest way to get a zero blade play out the front, or really the only one that I know of, is a deadlock, Hawk deadlock, and those are like thousands of dollars. So you're going to be getting, what was once previously thousands of dollars for like the cost of an Ultratech, which is going to be revolutionary and be very cool. But the Atreus, sorry, I keep getting off topic here. The Atreus is going to be, I believe, titanium and carbon fiber along with just aluminum. It's going to have the inlays on the blade. So right now we have I don't have out the front, like in the middle, but there'll be like inlays in the blade here that'll be carbon fiber and titanium. So that'll be really cool to see. I'm sure it'll be very expensive, but it is a very nice collector's piece, and it'll be cool to come out. And now what everyone is waiting for, I'm sure the reason a lot of you are watching this video, the new Ultratech is expected to be coming out in the next couple months. They said in Blade Show they were already in production. Expect them to be this year. And so I think the goal is, at least from reading some different rumors online, the goal is to have them out kind of in the next 1 to 2 months. Hopefully that comes, who knows? I would guess they'll probably have them out around Thanksgiving time and time for the holidays, but I have no idea. That's just a speculation. They did say, and again, in a bunch of their videos, I think it was Blade Show, they're in production already, so the coming months. So that was July, that was June, sorry. So we have already gone through July, we're getting into August, so I would imagine they're coming very, very soon. The new Ultratech is going to have the same style clip as this Cypher 2 right here. It's going to be a little different. It's going to look a little different than this, but it's going to have the carbide ball on here, or whatever kind of ball that is. I think that's like Glassbreaker's carbide, but whatever ball thing this is, pocket clip. And it's going to have the dual fuel drivetrain that's also in the Cypher, which is also in itself awesome, super easy to open, very, very pleasant to use. It's kind of hard to go back to, like, the Ultratech just feels so stiff now. And I'm a huge Ultratech fan. I love the original Ultratech, but it's definitely going back from this and like from the live wire and shootout, it feels a little more stiff. It will have zero blade play, which is, again, what I mentioned before, going to change the entire out the front industry. So that will be very cool to see how that all plays out. There's also kind of more minor detail, but these things in here called crud cutters. So it's just supposed to be, you can get it dirty and it won't really gunk up the action as much. I think that's it for the Ultratech. The features are gonna be coming out. They're also gonna have, that's the other thing, they have right now these funky screws, like their proprietary screws. They will be switching to Torx screws, I believe. I think it's gonna have a little bit wider of a body, so it's gonna be a little different shape, which I'm a little disappointed about. I love the Ultratech shape right now. It's very thin, slim, lightweight, and I wish that they had kind of kept it the same size. So maybe there would be some changing of components going on and such, and flipping them back and forth between the new models. But I'm sure it will still be a huge hit. I will definitely be, as soon as I can, getting my hands on one. I'm super, super excited to see how that turns out, and I hope they, go crazy with it. I hope they have all kinds of colors, blade styles, and such, and I think it's going to be a blast to see what comes out, and I'm really looking forward to what Microtech does in the future with all this. There's infinite possibilities. They have the RAM lock. They only have 3 models out with the RAM lock, and it's been a huge hit so far. I know there are a lot of people that hate on the spine whack tests when they first came out and the lock failing. I personally think they fixed that because I've done it to my own and they don't seem to be failing at all. So I'm hoping they fix that. And I'm hoping that they come out with all kinds of crazy stuff in that later, maybe like a SOCOM Elite in RAM lock or something like that. But again, just everybody is looking forward to the Ultratech. It's going to be priced around the same, according to them in their Blade Show video. It's going to be priced, I think they said, within $50 of what an Ultratech retails for right now. So you're getting zero blade play, which was thousands of dollars previously, for like $350. huge. It's gonna be great to see. I think that's about it with the Ultratech and all the Microtech stuff. I'm definitely more so looking forward to the Microtech releases than the Benchmade. I think Benchmade will. I have a sneaking suspicion that they're kind of going to dial back the pricing in the next couple of years and come up with some really cool stuff and figure out their issues. But for the time being, Microtech is taking over the spotlight. Spyderco released the Bodacious this year. I'm not talking about Spyderco in this video because I couldn't really find a whole lot about American-made stuff that's coming out with them. But I'm sure, again, they always have cool stuff in store. But I'm really, really, really excited for the Ultratech and other stuff that Microtech's got up and coming in the coming months here. So thank you for watching. Again, I just mentioned we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I'm super appreciative to all of those of you who subscribed and support the channel. I have a lot of fun doing these videos. I get to just talk about knives and hopefully provide y'all with some information that makes it a little bit easier than you having to go sift through and watch all these videos and read all these comments and such. So I enjoy doing that, and hopefully I can make you, those of you who hate doing that, a little bit more informed about what's going on and just, sharing the useless, or maybe at one point useless, wealth of knowledge that I have about all this stuff in my head. So I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And thank you to those of you who are, again, watching and subscribe. So if you have any thoughts or you know anything else that I did not mention in this video, please comment and let me know. I love to know what's going on. If I got something wrong, tell me. This is just what I have seen and staying up to date with their videos at SHOT Show and Blade Show and reading online. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I missed something. If you have other information and you know when the Ultratech is coming out, definitely let me and everybody else in the comments know. That'd be really cool. But again, I'll wrap it up here. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. I hope to bring you some more content like this in the future.